So yes, you have the courage, you have the mother's love to be afraid of, never become between the object of that love and the mother. The courage of the fool, because they are the courageous ones. They are the ones who jump off that cliff and to see if they can fly with the machine that old Galileo put together. They are the courageous ones who stand in front of, at the beginning of the charging army and says, no. They are the ones who stand on the side of the street waving their country's flag and saying, I'm not shutting up. But no, it's the last ones you never want to see, because when you anger the kind people in our world, let's say the librarians. The librarians are the ones who collect knowledge. They want to cultivate it for future generations. Now they're not being allowed to even share it with the young ones. Yes, you're angering the kind ones. Then you have the people who just want to cook and make everyone be able to fill their bellies. They'll give away their food for free, and you're not even letting them feed the hungry. You're angering the kind ones. Then there are the people who just want to preach the word of God in all its forms. And you're telling them no. And you're bringing anger to the kind ones. The ones who know the darkness. They've seen the darkness, and the darkness has looked into them, and the darkness blinked. The last time the kind ones got angry, Nagasaki still was a city. We're very ruthless people when it comes down to it. And we really are. We're ruthless renegades of generations of pirates descended from bastards. And not as the insult by that, as actually illegitimate children. I know I am. I know go back far enough, you'll eventually find a bastard in your family. Why? Because, it's called survival. But that's not a bad thing. The bad thing is letting it define who you are. If it just is a part of you, just like your nose, like my nose is honestly a big sign that I'm romantic. Oh, good Lord. Or my hair. Got this wonderful multicolored hair. Yes, I do bleach it once a year. I bleached it in December. Yeah. That was a while ago, people. 9 months. Haven't seen the best of man. I'll have one more run, but it's gonna be a sight to see. Wanna have high hopes for a living. Shooting for the stars and make it sing. Living all the time, but I always had a vision. Always have high hopes. Have to have high hopes for a living. Didn't know how, but I always had a feeling. Gonna be that one in a million. Gonna have high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living. Shooting for the stars and I shouldn't make a killing. Ready to be the one in a million. Always have high hopes. Always have high hopes for a living. Shooting for the stars and I shouldn't make a killing. Sorry, Mr. Ploach there. Always have high hopes. Sorry, when I belt out that one, I ended up hurting my throat, so I'm trying to save my throat for the weekend. So yeah. Well, I may not be defined by my blood. My blood is part of who I am. I define who I am. I am the fat man in paradise. I took that name and became that character. So there was a layer between the person who plays this character and the online mafia. You hate people like this. The people who won't shut up. My response is, I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna talk and talk and talk, and you can shut up because I don't care. I'm gonna keep moving forward, and you're gonna try to shut me up. And you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna talk about it. Because this is how legends are made, people. Someone who just won't stop. And I won't. Not now. Not ever. I walk this down the line just as there's a silver in my mind. Check my borderline. Nothing else will ever walk alone. Between the lines, that's fucked up and everything's alright. Check my vital signs, now I'm still alive. I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I enjoy these days. Well, because I get to go out here, I get to get into character, I get to mess around, I get to talk. And some people actually do listen to me. I get to do these, you know, fuck. On these empty streets, on the boulevard of broken dreams. When the city sleeps and I'm the only one I walk on. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I'll walk alone. Tell me when you think it's good. If not, no, tell me that too. Thumbs up, thumbs down, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care. But to remember one thing, do not ever turn on that wonderful pesky ad blocker. I enjoy it immensely. Do not give YouTube one single Satoshi. So yeah, Trump has another feather in their cap. That was enough to just get 30 Democrats that I know personally to switch to the Trump party. And I mean Trump party, not the Republican. There is a major difference between the two. Because, as illustrated in one of the other articles I'm going to bring up right now, the Republican Party still doesn't like Trump. Or is it? Oh. Here is an open letter to Kirk Caldwell and Kirk Caldwell. Aloha, Mayor Caldwell. Due to the coronavirus crisis, our economy has been effectively shut down for months and is having a massive impact on thousands of residents. Over 30,000 residents have lost their jobs, hundreds of businesses have permanently closed, and thousands of children are falling behind in school. Now, just as Honolulu County was starting to rebound, it was imposed an oppressive lockdown order that brought our economy back to its knees. Now, there are definitely certain residents that are incredibly vulnerable to this virus, and we should do everything we can to protect them. We can't let that goal destroy the very foundation of our country. Those active risk residents can be protected without returning to the devastating shutdown that have not only caused massive economic damage. Get a copy editor, guys. That should be has, not have. Caused massive economic damage, but also crippling long-term mental health issues for countless residents. Hi, there's a clown here. Your lockdowns have created an atmosphere right for new cases of depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, and even suicide that will lead to untold misery for thousands of local families. Or spontaneous clown shows start appearing. Public health and safety depend on more than dedicated doctors and nurses. They depend on the economy that allows people to provide for their families and support their families and communities. You have to start thinking about more than just the virus. You have to start thinking about the damage caused by the steps you've taken to fight. Yeah, it's like, cutting off the limb to stop the spreading of a bug bite. Yeah, you'll stop the bug bite, the circling of the venom, but you know what? Unless the person's gonna die from that venom, that's a little much. Especially if it's the freaking head, which most people like to consider the economy for the American system. Because we're capitalists. The Honolulu County Republican Party and the thousands of our members urge you to think about the countless residents in the county struggling to provide for their families. Please keep the country open and let us get on with our lives. Respectfully, Brett Cullums, Chairman, Honolulu Republican Party.
Yeah, I read that.
I read it out loud for the people who haven't read it, because that was primarily spread around for the Republicans. And while I'm signed up for the Republicans, I'm a Trumpist right now. Populist is the classical term. The proper term, to describe where I'm at right now politically, is I am a national populist. Those who have the popular votes, who I believe will work best for the nation, I will follow. That means I have no party that I am more loyal to. I am more loyal to my ideals than any one person or group. So yes, if a Democrat actually could do a better job, I'd vote for you. But guess what? Freaking communists. Better blonde than red, eh? Now here's the other one that's really messed up. I'm gonna read this out so people can actually hear this, but this is really screwed up. Democrats are contemplating secession and potential civil war as they game out possible scenarios for a closely contested election, according to a report by Ben Smith in a New York Times column Sunday. The bulk of Smith's column is devoted to the question of how the media will handle election night coverage. Given that the result may not be known for weeks, vote by mail, which many states have only recently adopted, abstaining to prevent the spread of coronavirus in polling places, could lead to uncertain results. By the way, all the wonderful doctors from the WHO and CDC, including the Reverend Fauci himself, has stated, sorry, focus on me. There we go. That better? Focus on me. Ah, it looks better. All the Reverend doctors and those wonderful light lab coats that all these leftists happen to be worshiping. I was saying, it's just as safe as going to freaking Walmart. Think about that. Walmart. Where people actually lick the shelves. Yes, that happened last week to me. And it wasn't me licking the shelf. Which is actually something uncommon. No, actually, no, that's just a joke. So yeah, the Dems are actually considered trying to secede from the Union. The three major states of Washington, Oregon, and California, or California as I like to point out, to secede from the Union if Trump tries to force through to be elected. But I want you to listen to how these war games were played out, because all the theories are based off these war games, which are based, for lack of a better term, D&D. played several different games, and the only one when the violence stopped was when Joe Biden won in a landslide. Think about that. Joe Biden was played by John Podesta, a former used to work with Joe Biden. Former chair of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign and leading figure in party circles. The result, threat of secession was the entire West Coast, followed by the possible intervention of the U.S. Armed Forces. The problem is that the only Republicans they had in the games were rhinos. Basically, the oligarchy party played the war games and said, "Oh no, we can't have Trump win again. Oh no, we have to make sure it doesn't go. Oh, how can we do it? I know how we can do it. We can make it so we can have Biden win." You mean the guy who has no brain? I know, we can do that. But we can use him as a puppet, as a placeholder. And then we can put someone really into, I got Kamala! Not Kamala. I got Kamala! Oh crap, you put Kamala in VP. Oh, nice, don't you? You shouldn't have done that. Alright, well, we're stuck now. So, we got Biden and we got Kamala. So, we're gonna keep going. I have a stage. Breakfast, the salad tonight. So we got it, we have to go streets. Kamala! Shut up. So, how are you gonna do this? Well, no, we can honestly do it by having... Oh, I know how we can do it. We can say that the violence is only gonna stop Biden wins. Well, hey, can you control Antifa? No one controls Antifa. How are you going to stop them from rioting? We're going to give them what they want. Yeah. So they're going to stop rioting? They agreed to stop rioting afterwards? Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay. Good enough for me. That's basically how it went. Yeah, they agreed that they're going to start capitulating to Antifa if Joe Biden wins. Donald Trump has in the meantime, Donald Trump has deputized the Oregon State Police with federal powers so they can start arresting and prosecuting these violent rioters with federal crimes instead of state crimes, and thus the state AG and prosecuting attorneys will not be able to let these idiots go free again. Oh yeah, here's another little tidbit. Twitter a couple of days ago removed a tweet shared by President Trump that contained false information about the coronavirus statistics from the CDC, with company saying it violated the rules. Except Chip was right. If you listen to the whole thing in context, only of everyone who got sick with coronavirus, who has so far been part of the cases, not even just sick, but are part of the cases, recorded cases, you end up with 6% being dying from just coronavirus itself, and the illnesses that derive directly from it. Now think about that. Everyone else who's died from it has died from an average of 2.7 comorbidities. That's about three different comorbidities on average. I myself have 3 comorbidities. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, asthma, and a sleep disorder, which is probably caused by the combination of the other two. This creates a situation where I'm likely to die. I have like 60% chance of surviving. I'll take it. Why? Because I'd rather live instead of freaking die in a freaking corner. God bless you too. I know it's really small. Remember, use Miracle Grow. He showed me his IQ level.
Yeah, I told him to use Miracle Grow. Maybe it might grow more. I told him to use Miracle Grow. It might get bigger.
There's lightning inside you. All over again.
Now that's the point. You can flip me off, but guess what? That's not gonna stop me. Oh no, I got flipped off. I'm gonna go ahead and quit. No, that's not. You think that's actually gonna freaking work? I'm a clown. I literally pantsed myself on a stage to just get a laugh. I got laughed. Tiny Whitey's got the job done. Still looking for silk polka dot boxers that'll fit me. I got a big spot. I cannot lie. I am not sorry for that one. But yes, the CDC relatively quietly, but then, you know, because of the notoriety of people watching them like a freaking hawk, because, you know, when government agencies start publishing conflicting information, do what the populace here in America does? Please stop trusting them. About the second time. CDC has posted conflicting information over 16 times over the COVID crisis. That's just my count. So, but anyone under the age of 30, you have over a 95% chance of survival. But I still believe my number, that I quote before, 0.24% of survival rate is correct when we'll actually be able to start and finish testing. Because Switzerland and Finland, Newfoundland, said it was airborne. And I think it will be surviving in the air for quite a while. It's the reason why I suggested doing ram scoot testing vehicles driving down the road. Alright, you might be able to test better that way. You actually might be able to do some tracing instead of doing contact tracing without actually, infringing on people's rights. Oh no, you actually don't want to infringe on people's rights? I'm sorry. You're missing your SS uniform. Oh no, correction. You have the fist now, right? So you can go take that fist someplace else. But because a bunch of individuals from the Q community were watching the CDC like freaking stink on crap, CDC couldn't update it quietly, and so they held a news conference the next day. Go figure, right? Gotta control the narrative as best you can. But anyway, but yeah, they still confirmed the fact that Trump pointed out that 6% of deaths total of total cases, only 6% of the people died strictly of COVID. Everyone else who died from comorbidities. And we're not quite sure if the comorbidity, there are people who died from COVID who had COVID, and people who died from the comorbidity who had COVID. Until we separate those two, which, by the way, the CDC still has not done, we will not have the correct statistics. Because the people who died from comorbidities with COVID do not belong in the statistical model. But those who died from the COVID morbidities because of COVID do belong in the statistical model, but at a lower rate than those who strictly died from COVID. I recommend a 0.8 for every one of them. Just a control for the variation. Now I want to do it. I want to actually probably do it 0.3 actually. Straight 1/3. Maybe 1/3. Because end up with almost 3. We could honestly do a ratio of 2.7 now on average. That might be better. Whoever figures out the numbers, you should do it that way. I'll keep an eye out. But There have been over 6 million confirmed coronavirus cases, and 183,000 people have died. I'm sorry. Pray for your families, for you guys have already been judged. And I pray that God have mercy on your soul, because time that matters not for the Lord of God. And if you weren't, believers, I still hope He had mercy on you. Sorry, I think I have a silly joke. Teacher was trying to teach the kids about science in elementary school. One of the students, a little girl, was from a very evangelical household, and she asked. They were talking about how Da Vinci used different techniques, different abilities, his genius polymathic abilities to start going across different genres of science, and actually pioneered several different types of science before his time. And she was honestly curious, was this good in the eyes of God? And the teacher says, I don't know. Well, you can ask him when you pass away in years to come. She goes, okay. And you can ask him when you pass away, to the teacher. Ow. Burn. But anyway, hello. But seriously, there's just been too many people who have died in this last year, even though on average it's actually fewer people here in the United States. So I want everyone to realize that it's still fewer people who died this year than last year in total. Think about that. Primarily, because we're hiding freaking holes. But again, I'd rather live. It's an old philosophy in Christendom. I actually don't even know how old this idea is. But it's called dying thrice. You can be dead while you're alive, and then you die when you're with your body. But there's a third death, the eternal death. When you have died, after you have died twice, you shall die thrice. When you are forgotten. Like that ancient centurion who has built a statue and a monument to his great little colony, and how beautiful it was, and all that's left is the pedestal for the statue, say, look upon what I have wrought and weep. I think it was a centurion, I don't know. Honestly, probably older than that. Could be a Babylonian. Oh, there's my YouTube. Oh, there's a QR code for my YouTube channel. Flip it backwards and you get to my YouTube channel. If you're on BitChute or anywhere else, please come and visit. I don't bite much. But yeah, not ready to close up. God bless you too. God bless you. God bless you. I hold nothing against you. And please hold nothing against me. You're not my pet. I'm closing down. Yes, I'm closing down. I'm hungry too. I had celery this morning. I am rather proud of myself. That was breakfast. Alright, anything else? Question everything. I even question God, even though I am a firm believer of God, God Noni Yahweh, who is the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Moshe. The Father of the one we know is Yeshua Bar Yosef, also known as Jesus the Christ. And the one that guides us in every day if we listen. So I want you to listen, not to me, but to Him. If you really want to experience faith, this is something I dare people to do. Find a quiet place, someplace truly quiet. Not just in real life, physical life, but also inside your mind. In your inner self. Meditate until it's just you in the center of your being, however you represent it. Stand there and look into the great cosmos beyond and say, I offer you this. Really. And then ask for what you want. But be careful what you wish for. He just might give it to you. So, that was my last thing. There are times of trouble coming ahead. The suspect who supposedly in the shooting of the Trump supporter in Portland, Oregon, apparently died in a shootout with the police. I'm waiting for body cam footage before I start saying what happened, because too many people want to say too many things. I don't believe horse shite until the end of it. I'm going to go back to my default. Give me pics or it didn't happen. Reason why I originally got on the George Floyd train. I'm sorry that man died from an overdose. And yes, George Floyd died from an overdose, not from a knee to his neck. Coroner report says this, both of them. There was no arterial blockage, there was no blockage to the trachea, and there was no bursting of the brain part. No blood vessel bursting on the cornea of the eyes, which is a primary note of suffocation. Happens to people who are being choked. And anyone who knows about the two different types of choke, air choke and blood choke, when you do an air choke, you almost always get the cell lysine in the cornea of the eye. Blood choke, very rarely, if done correctly, very rarely deadly. Very rarely deadly. It's a takedown. It's not meant to be deadly. So that's gonna be it. I'm gonna wish you all a good day. God bless. And I'm gonna go get something to eat. Got 2 fingers today. 3 more, I might have a hand. Give me 8, I'll have a hand to clap. So serious, you don't care. How big of you? You have a finger. You can stick out. Mazel tov. Come here and debate me. Debate me! Put me in my place. Put me back in my little clown car and sit down. But oh no. No. They just want to ban me from Facebook. Guess what? I ain't going nowhere, you sniggets. So all of you on the internet's lands, and in the future who come back and watch the stupid fool, the Fat Man in Paradise, this persona, this character from the Bizarre Circus standing before you, I want you all to realize I do this for the 2 reasons I have always held sacred. Life and the sacred choice. When you take away either of those is when I shall start voicing things. I need you to honestly interfere with mine. So, welcome to the games. Vaya con Dios and viva Cristios. Always.